this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I refinished these dining room chairs, and this is what they started as, just like an orangey oak color, and this is the finished piece. So it is a dry brush chair, and I also refinished the upholstery. In this video, I'm just going to show you what I did as far as painting. I'll do another video that I'll link below on how to do the upholstery. So for the painting portion, there's 3 steps in this video. I'm going to cover the base coat, and then I'm going to do a wash, and then the 3rd step is dry brushing, and that's what gives it this unique look and adds some dimension to it. So if you're not interested in watching the base coat or the wash or the recipe that I used as far as paints, just fast forward toward the end and you'll see how I dry brushed. Okay, so let's get started with the base coat, and it's super simple, but I'm doing this for those of you who have never painted with chalk paint before and don't even know where to start. So what I did was, well, I took off the seat of this, and then literally all I had to do to get this chair ready was wipe it down with a paper towel, a wet paper towel, to get all the dust off. And so I didn't do anything else, no sanding, stripping, and I will show you how easily this goes on. And the first coat is always really good with coverage, so you'll see how simple this is. And with this technique, you can paint messily. See, I'm using a chip brush. These are super cheap, and the only annoying part is that the bristles come out sometimes and you have to pick them out of whatever you're painting. But I could even do this and it will end up looking fine. I'm not going to worry about the brush strokes. So I'm not going to make you watch me paint this whole thing, but this is how easily it goes on. And by the time you're done painting a certain area or the whole chair, the rest of it will be dry. It dries super fast. So then go on to your second coat. Okay, so now for step 2, which is applying the wash. In step 1, I did 2 coats of the base coat, and I actually didn't do anything up here yet. I'm just doing this so I can show you guys. But coverage is key in that first step, because now we're going to be using water, and if you have a thin layer of paint, it will easily rub off, and we don't want that underneath brown orangey color to show. So this is the wash, and if you've seen my other tutorial on washes, it's very thorough, and this is going to be a lot like that, but much shorter, and we're not going to be as aggressive as I was in that video, because we don't want the brown to show through like we did in the other video. So this is all I'm going to do. I mixed Han Fleur with water 1:1, and all I want to do is just get like a brown tint going on this. So you'll see it's super watery. And I'll cover this whole area. And then I'll take a sponge and dip it in water. And you don't want it to be super watery, because again, we do not want the wood to show through. If you're dealing with a wood that's really pretty underneath, then by all means make it show through, but this just evens it out there. And then you can also take it, since we have paint on there now, and put it down this side and just spread it out. And you can even use the dry part of the sponge if it's too wet. And that's a wash. So just let it dry, and then we'll move on to step 3. Now we've painted it with a base color, and then we did a wash of Han Fleur to give it that little brown tint. And now I'm going to show you how to dry brush. So if you don't care about anything else in this tutorial, you can learn now how to dry brush, and that's what gives it this unique look that you see going across right here. I've already finished, so I layered first with gray dry brushing and then white. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I just pour a little bit of paint on a plate and just barely get the tips of the brush, and then tap it off. I kind of do a few test strokes just to see. And then I start at the top here, because if it is too much paint, it's easier to disguise if it's up there rather than down in the base of things. So when you don't have much paint on your brush like this, you can really push harder, and it almost gives it just like a gray dusting. However, I do want it to be a little bit streaky, so I'm gonna keep going. And it's best to start light like this, because if you do get a big glob of paint in the middle, it is a little harder to get off. If you do get a big glob, which I haven't done that yet, and maybe I will, you just take the sponge that you used for the wash that you did before, or whatever your base color is, so mix it with water, dip the sponge in, and you can use it as kind of like a little eraser. So I'll do one more. All right, now we'll switch to white. And the white is really what makes everything pop. It really enhances like the brush strokes that were underneath there. So we're just doing the same thing. Go all the way down or across my piece, because if you do stop in the middle, you get little blobs. Sometimes those look good. One of the chairs that I already did, I did that a lot on, and it does look a little blobby, but it looks good. Another technique that I wanted to add on is flicking the brush on the edges to get that distressed look. So what you do then is all the same ways, get ready, get all the paint off, and then just flick. And it just gives a super light whiteness to it that makes it look distressed. And this is the chair that you can see. I kind of went a little, I would stop instead of going all the way up, and you can see right there, it just leaves the paint a little heavier. So if you like the look of that, you can do that. If you like the look of more consistency, then just go all the way across. So thanks again for watching.